Hi everyone, it's Baldrick here, and in today's episode I'll be doing a Battlefield Hardline impressions video. So if you're wondering about that number in the top right hand corner of my screen, that is my FPS count, so that's how many frames per second I'm getting at ultra settings 1080p with my overclocked 780 Ti. If you were sort of wondering what sort of performance to expect with this game. Anyway, let's get into the commentary. So Battlefield Hardline, it is the Battlefield right after Battlefield 4 if you didn't know, and it had a very successful launch. I'm not sure about the sales numbers, but there was no major issues with the game like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 had, so you're not going to be getting, when you're having a good time on this game, Battlefield Hardline has stopped working. This is more specifically on the PC side. I cannot really make any comments on the console versions of this game. So yeah, that's really good to see that it had a excellent launch and that no one's really having any issues with this game. Obviously there might be a few people, but in general there's no major complaints about this game, which is good to see. Another thing I'd like to talk about is that there's plenty of servers running. It's got Conquest, it's got Hotwire, it's got all the good Battlefield Hardline game modes that are new to the Battlefield series. You can play on them, no issue. Obviously at launch you'd expect this, and hopefully this carries out throughout Hardline's life. Hardline, you can also buy premium. I won't really be talking about that because there hasn't really been any premium content, so I can't really comment on that. Anyway, there's a decent selection of guns. I found the assault rifles to be sort of wrecking any other sort of gun class apart from if you're doing sniping and you're trying to snipe someone with an assault rifle. Obviously that's not going to work, but if you're using the assault rifle, generally you're going to be able to outgun people, especially with the default assault rifles for each class. So obviously there's cops and robbers classes. I'm not really sure exactly. I guess it's called criminals and police or something like that. So the criminals sort of have, I guess, less militarized weapons than the cops. They're both generally good weapons, but the default medic classes on both of them are pretty beasts, so you definitely don't get crappy guns to start off with, that's for sure. Anyway, now let's get on to the actual performance that you'll be getting on your PC. Obviously I've got a 780 Ti and a 4-core i5 processor, and I'm getting about 100 frames per second on average, or I'm guessing that I would get that, and that's sort of to be expected. It hasn't been really optimized with the latest drivers yet, or it might have been, but that's pretty good frames per second for a launch. It's not getting any massive stutters that you would get with some other games that just release. It's got a really smooth release, so there's no performance issues with my PC. Obviously people might have some, but that's probably their PC's issues, not the games. So anyway, the graphics in Battlefield Hardline are unfortunately not too much better than Battlefield 4 or better at all. They're actually more cartoony. I'm not saying they're bad graphics, they're on par with Battlefield 4's, but it doesn't really aim for realism as much as Battlefield 4 would. I guess it's a bit of a change, but me personally, I really liked Battlefield for its graphics, and it is a bit disappointing to see that it hasn't progressed too far with its graphics. And I'm actually getting less FPS than I would get in Battlefield 4, so I'm not sure why that's happening, but obviously this game hasn't been fully optimized for the latest hardware configurations, so that's sort of to be expected with a game that's just released. But overall, I really enjoyed my Battlefield Hardline experience in the first few hours of playing it. I've gotten some good gameplays, I've gotten some bad gameplays. It just really depends on who you're versing, so it's got nothing to do with performance affecting my gameplay. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments whether you want to see some more Battlefield Hardline in the future, because I really enjoy playing it, or if you want to see Battlefield 4 instead, because I like covering both games. Anyway, thanks for watching, and remember to have a nice day.